What's up, world? What's up, internet? I'm Deanna Jean Pierce, and this is my spiritual YouTube channel, The Faith That Grows. In this video, I would like to talk to you about therapy. My experience with therapy, what I used to think about therapy, and how I feel about therapy now. So I used to be kind of almost against therapy in a way. I would never go around telling people, don't go to a therapist, but I had an aversion to therapy. This was due to PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I had a very negative experience working with a therapist in childhood. This was a court-ordered therapist that I worked with from a very young age. I don't remember exactly what age, but it would have been probably around 3 to 5 years old, all the way through my brother's suicide when I was 16 years old. Long story short, this therapist was extremely neglectful and didn't do her job. And it gave me such bad PTSD that I have not wanted anything to do with therapy for a very long time. Still, I have experimented with working with psychiatrists and therapists over the past few years. Some of my experience was good, some of it was okay, some of it was not good. I am currently working with a therapist right now who is really, really supportive and deeply resonant with me. In this video, I'm not going to give an extensive history and detailed account of my entire experience with therapy and psychiatry. That would just take too long, and it's not really the point of this specific video. The point of this specific video is to encourage you, if you are watching this, to get a therapist. Like I said before, I used to have an aversion and deep fear and deep PTSD in regard to therapists due to my experience in childhood. Dan Thalen, my husband, love of my life, best friend, he is the one who has helped me heal my PTSD in regard to therapy. Dan Thalen has lovingly held my hand and helped me work through all of my fears and PTSD in regard to working with a therapist. So now, at the time of filming this video that you're watching right now, I am working consistently with a therapist, and it's extremely helpful and emotional for me. Essentially, I've gone from deep paranoia, fear, and aversion to receiving support through a therapist to honestly relaxing and having a normal, healthy relationship with therapy. Shortly after Dan and I moved to Madison, Wisconsin, I saw a sticker on the back of a car when we were in the Willie Street area, and it said, "Beware of therapist." This exacerbated my paranoia and fear, because even though I'm definitely not schizophrenic, I do have aspects of paranoia that I'm working through. Dan, being super loving and understanding what's gone on with me in regard to therapy, has held my hand and walked with me every step of the way through experimenting and working with different psychiatrists, therapists, and counselors over the past few years. Dan also currently sees a therapist. If you are watching this and you feel like you're wondering if a therapist can support you, I'm wanting to offer my personal experience with this. Perhaps at another time, when I have time to gather all of my thoughts and experiences across all of the different therapists, psychiatrists, and counselors I've worked with my entire life up until now, I can give a more extensive analysis based on my experience. But for now, I just want to help anyone who has an aversion to therapy. First, I will say that it may take you some time and energy and effort to find the right therapist. For this, I will just say that it is safe to fire your therapist or change therapists or psychiatrists if you don't feel resonant or like you are getting the support that you need. You want to find a therapist that you resonate with and you deeply trust. Going to therapy can bring up deeply uncomfortable feelings. It can bring up really, really deep things and cause a lot of discomfort to arise to the surface. But here is why I recommend that everyone work with a therapist based on my experience. First of all, when you have the right therapist, it's like having an objective friend in your life. Normal friendships are not designed to be therapy for you. Therapy cannot replace friendships, and friendships cannot replace therapy. While talking to your friend is definitely something you should always do, we should all have a massive social circle of support. Sometimes friends can become biased and non-objective towards you. They have their own issues that they are dealing with. But a therapist is objective. They're professional. And if they're doing it right, the only motivation they have is to help you. Help you in your goals, whether it be, it's whatever you want it to be. Whereas a personal friend might slip into negativity or bias because of their own issues, a therapist has taken on a job to help people, and a therapist derives no benefit from you not being happy and well. Working with a therapist means that you're not only receiving support in lightening your load, but it lightens the load of everyone you're in a relationship with. By having this professional, objective, trained friend who can offer you different perspectives on things and help you process your life, thoughts, and emotions, help keep you on track for your goals in life, and are really there to make sure you're okay, then all of the other relationships in your life can be lighter. I will say again, a therapist cannot replace genuine friendship, and I would never recommend someone only see a therapist and have no friends. I believe we all need both friends and therapy. A therapist can observe your patterns, point out blind spots, and help you remember your goals in an objective way. Working with a therapist can help provide energetic checks and balances to other thoughts and opinions and relationships in your life. You could call your mom, for instance, and she could be having a bad day and give you really bad advice or take out an upset on you. But when you go talk to a therapist, they're there specifically for you. The right therapist, a good therapist, is not going to show up to a session and take out their bad day on you, take out their frustrations on you like a friend or family member might, because they're not paid to help you professionally. Literally nothing can replace genuine love and feedback and support of a family member. Like, I love talking to my grandparents, I love talking to my family, I love talking to friends, and it's a much different experience. However, anyone at any time in your life can fall into a trap of misperceiving you or taking out something that has nothing to do with you on you. And so in a therapy session, you are free and protected from all of that. While yes, a therapist they're gonna have their own issues and biases they're working through, at the same time, they have made a career out of professionally supporting people emotionally. I don't believe that therapy is a perfect system by any means. However, now that Dan has helped me through my PTSD in regard to therapy, and I am working with a therapist that I love, I believe that it's so much better than having nothing or no one to turn to. You can't have too much support in your life, especially if you've been through deep grief or trauma. Of course, eventually, therapy and spirituality are going to have to completely meld together. Therapy has its limitations, but from where I'm standing right now, I look forward to my therapy appointments. My therapist is helping me so much. We all need somebody to lean on, and I will say this again, while therapy cannot and should not and does not replace friendships, what it can do is be another layer of more professional and objective support. One way that Dan Thalen, my husband and best friend in all the universe, has helped me in regard to therapy when I was having deep aversion and trauma arise in trying to relate to a therapist is he told me that I wasn't taking enough ownership of my relationship with therapy. He said that I needed to make sure that I was running the sessions and that my needs were being met in the sessions, and that it was my responsibility to utilize therapy in a way that was actually helpful for me. So if I have certain goals, then I need to be the one to communicate that and make sure that this person is actually helping me. Essentially, Dan helped me claim my power in having a healthy relationship with a therapist and helping me realize that a genuinely good therapist is just a helpful, compassionate person. And if you heal through the fear and PTSD and you find the right fit for you, you just have another person helping you in your life. And that's all that it is. One day I would love to go into a much deeper kind of deep dive and share my full experience with therapy, psychiatry, counseling, to give a more expansive and in-depth overview. But for now, what I really just want to do is encourage anyone watching this to not be afraid to talk to a therapist and work with a therapist. Of course, if there's something going off or something is wrong in your therapy session, then definitely go ahead and report it and don't tolerate that. But it's safe to receive support. It is safe to engage with the world of therapy so long as you do it in a way that is loving and compassionate for you. If you would like help working through your own aversion to therapy or working through anything really, I am a spiritual life coach and I will link my services below. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in this kind of content, please subscribe.